Welcome to the second episode of Showdown. I got to catch up with TheFailSpawner and we more or less had a very chilled out discussion about Hunt amongst other things. If you don't know who TheFailSpawner is, you will have seen his face. He is notoriously known as the first hunter to reach prestige level 100. As a way of celebrating this, Crytek put his face on a wanted poster that you will definitely have seen across the bayou. Just to note, this was recorded pre 1.52 while it was still on test server. Since then until now, I have been looking at a lot of your feedback on how to improve and what else I can do for the show. As always, if you have any feedback or ideas, or perhaps it's a question that you want me to pose to someone on a future episode, just let me know in the comments section below. You can also reach out to me via any of the links provided, and you can join the Discord as well, where I have set up dedicated rooms for specifically Showdown. Thanks for jumping on and doing this with me anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
So how long have you been gaming for?
Well, I started PC gaming in about 2011, but I've been playing Xbox and PlayStation since, I don't know, since I could remember, honestly.
What was the
Mainly
first?
My first was, I don't know, the first game I remember playing is probably PlayStation 2 would be like the original Call of Duties, like the first ones. I think I've played every single Call of Duty since the first one.
Okay.
And then like playing like, Ghost Recon and like SOCOM and like all those games.
Fair enough. So you've got a bit of an action shooter kind of background.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I remember SOCOM. I remember you had to buy the network adapter on the back of the PlayStation there as well to get that up and running. I don't know how it is over in the States, but that's how we had to do it in the UK. But yeah, Call of Duty, I must admit, I didn't actually jump on that until probably Call of Duty 2. I think that was Xbox as well at the time. Not long after release, I think that was. I'll have to fact check that and find out. So, what is it that actually led you onto Hunt?
Oh, I just saw, I think it was a Bike Man. He tweeted about it. I was like, this game looks sick. And I was like, that game does look sick. So I signed up and like I didn't get into the alpha right away. I had to like wait till like the alpha was almost over before I even got into it. And then I just haven't stopped playing it since.
Wow, okay. But
yeah,
I have seen you have played some other stuff since. What was it I saw you?
But
There was something I saw you
yeah.
play the other day. And it's something that caught my eye because I've started playing as well, and I actually think it's pretty well done. Is Grounded, and it's so far different from like what Hunt is, but it's such a neat little game. That's just It's just I don't know. It's just really well done now.
Yeah, Grounded. It's pretty good. I was just playing off stream with a friend of mine, so we were just chilling. It's I think it's based. Is it like it's like that Honey I Shrunk the Kid movie, right? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah. With Rick Moranis. Yeah, it's got that kind of like idea to it, hasn't it? There seems to be a story there, but they haven't quite developed where it's at just yet. I don't know what update's on just now. What is it, 9.2?
Yeah, I've only played 2 hours, so I.
Oh,
honestly,
right, okay.
Yeah, the spiders are scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing it for a few months. It was something that I could get my kid into. But then I realized very quickly, like you say, the spiders are actually super scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Well,
a
they
kids
have an
game.
arachnophobia slider, so it's like you can turn the arachnophobia slider all the way up, and they just like they look like blobs. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah. No, I had to go with some realism. You know, um, bulk up that fear factor.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, hunt. So at the moment we are what we're looking at. We're looking at update 1.52 on
Yep.
test right now,
Yep.
and there's some changes that. Well, I won't say
Yeah.
changes. There is one particular change for sure, but there's some additions, and some of these, I guess, from what I've seen, might be slightly controversial.
Yeah. I mean, they're buffing shotguns, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, anyways. But I don't know. I've kind of I don't know that if I've necessarily given up on like the game, but like I just don't worry about updates anymore. I just go with the flow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think it's good that they are obviously tinkering around with existing stuff, and I kind of feel like buffing the shotguns, especially the shorter barrel ones, definitely needed some kind of love and care there because you wanna look at each weapon as a viable option. And those
Right.
shotguns, some of them were definitely there. Just you could have them in your loadout, but especially with the hand cannon, the terminus hand cannon, I have used that to absolutely no effect in some
Right.
scenarios. It's just seemed it's quite underpowered, I thought, compared to like where the specs are compact. So it's nice that
Yeah.
they've buffed some of those, but obviously, custom ammo when that got introduced, obviously that was controversial in itself. So, what was the first thing that went through your mind when you saw that they were adding slugs to the sea, the Crown and King?
That's actually kind of funny because they were going over the update, and I was like, doing my average shit posting in chat, and I was like, when are we getting the slugs for the Crown and King? And they're like, next, we're adding slugs for the Crown and King, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this is gonna be kind of busted.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Um. So they made some changes to that, to the Crown King, how it responds in general, a bit more sway, a bit more recoil. Okay, fair enough. Um. Still gonna be a scary weapon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's maybe. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the Dulch, but I know there's a lot of people have an issue with the Dulch where it's sitting right now. Um, I kind of would put that in the same category up there with maybe the spammy sort of stuff that we see.
Yeah, people are telling me you can two shot at 65 meters with it, which is, you know, kind of absurd if you think about it.
Mm,
Like, it really doesn't take that much skill to aim a shotgun, or I don't know. I haven't tested it myself, so I don't, I don't have a solid opinion.
okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens when it goes live and they start picking up some more telemetry data on it
Yeah,
and so on. That was one of my biggest concerns was okay, so we got slugs on shotguns, that's fine. But as long as it doesn't hit any of the semi-automatic shotguns, that would be great. And now they've done it, and now we've got to
yeah,
deal with it. And every
yeah,
time they add something into Hunt, I'm always thinking, all right, so I'd rather not. I wouldn't ever rip anything to shreds. I have a good faith that what they're doing is, there's a reasoning why they make these changes or they want to add something into the game. Um, So it's another challenge just to overcome, and I kind of feel that's what Hunt's always been about because it's always
yeah.
evolving, it's always changing, and it's about just trying to adapt to what they're gonna throw at you, next, and
Mhm.
it keeps it fresh, I think.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
I see updates and I'm like, I probably wouldn't have done it that way, but that's the way it is now. So we'll just have to deal with it and go, move
hmm,
forward. That's how I look at it now.
The movement changes.
I don't know. I didn't think. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but on the other hand, like especially the crouching one, it's like okay, it's in the game. You know, I could see why you added it, but was it necessary? Probably not. The spinning one, on the other hand, I 100% agree with because that's just annoying to deal with. It's like just stand still.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the crouching one. Um, the you can still crouch spam on the spot, and there's an ever so slight slowdown with it, or there's like a delay, I would say. And then of course, when you start moving, that's when you start feeling the real
yeah,
change there. Um, and yeah, that's. I mean, when I was back playing Hunt on console, trying to keep up. Uh, Back when they had the movement restrictions, especially when you were using bolt action rifles and doing the reload animation and so on. That was really difficult to have in place for a console shooter because it just didn't make any sense whatsoever. And back then, I hadn't made the full migration to PC at all. Um, but yeah, just seeing how now with them implementing these restrictions or penalties, I should say, um, it's interesting because again, I can see a lot of the console player base being like, okay, well now we're being restricted again here. We're going to encounter a lot of these issues where it doesn't feel like a naturally flowing FPS game, and movement's obviously quite important. So that's definitely one of the things that um, is interesting to see, especially to see how they're doing it on the public test. So, I guess they're just collating information to see if it actually is a viable move to not move. But who knows?
right. I wonder like if they don't have the resources or if they just don't want to. But how come they don't like balance the game for console and then balance the game for PC? You know what I mean?
I think it's a resource issue for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Probably. And yeah, there's I think there's probably a balance between like what time they can put into having two different builds across.
yeah.
Um, I think that I think it's been mentioned probably in the past a couple of times that I think they would like to get a test
Yeah,
out on console, but again, yeah, it's just resources, isn't it? And
yeah,
last year was quite difficult, I think, so it set them back a little bit. Um, so yeah, but we'll see. Um, Speaking of setbacks, obviously, I think a lot of this stuff that we're seeing now in the last couple of months, since custom ammo and scrap beat, I think these things were all going to be part of the same update, weren't they? Um, and I think that would have included the new map. And I'm guessing that's something that you're probably really excited for because it's been a while, hasn't it?
yeah. It's been what 2 years now since we've had a map,
You
almost
know.
three. Yeah, I'm excited for the map. It's you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a different environment too from some of the pictures I've seen. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully, there'll be a lot of different nice gameplay elements in there as well, or people having to rethink maybe stuff that worked on a lot of the flatter maps. Maybe I'm hoping there's a lot of verticality in there, or
Yeah,
especially with quarries and things like that. So, it'll be very interesting to
yeah,
see what the approach is on the new map for sure.
yeah. With the new map, they could also just do all different kinds of like sandbox things, right? Like you know, caves or stuff like that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it'd be so cool to have a cave where you like actually had to have a light to go inside of it or a lantern or something. That'd be so cool.
Well, this is the thing. This is where we might actually find like the flashlight actually being
Yeah,
useful. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if you ever use it, but it's not one of those things that's a first pick, is it, for a tool?
Not the greatest unless you're prestiging, but
Hmm.
then you have to use it at least a couple times.
Just to get those fuses.
Yeah. It's surprisingly blinding at nighttime if you shine it in someone's eyes, but
Oh yeah, dude.
That's about it.
I've encountered a couple of players who have used it really well to a really good effect, especially where they've been aggressive plays with
Yeah.
shotguns. You know, they turn
Yeah.
it on right as you don't expect it, and I've
Yeah.
had some really good. I've just been completely outplayed, and I've just gone, well, absolute mad respect. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Never expected that at all.
Lost to a flashlight.
Yeah. Um, bomb lance rushes as well. I've seen them do that before. So it probably has its uses, but very situational.
Very niche. Yeah.
Anything that you kind of hoped they would have in the game by now?
Well, way back then they talked about adding. I'm gonna butcher this name, but the tarot cards,
Oh,
however you say it.
tarot cards.
Yeah, there you go. Those they were added. They were talking about adding those like way back, but I think they scrapped that whole idea. Same with crafting. They talked about adding crafting, but we never got anything about like that, you know.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about the cards. I think I must have come into Hunt. Long after that. Crafting. I mean, I think there was some speculation that crafting was supposed to be surrounding the custom ammo.
Yeah.
And I know they probably won't talk about any of that because as Iceman has pointed out to me a couple of times, is they're not gonna ever dismiss anything that they may have thrown away because they might revisit it.
Right.
So they can't really talk about obviously what may or may not be. Yeah, there's a few things. I mean, Hunt, I kind of feel Hunt's in a good place just now. It's toddling along. I mean, obviously they've had some record numbers.
Yeah.
What about the existing bosses? Any thoughts about those in comparison to Scrapbeak, or what is your opinion on Scrapbeak when that was introduced? What was the first thing that went through your mind, and how you came to learn obviously about that and the mechanics surrounding Scrapbeak? Is that something that you look at the existing bosses just now and kind of hope that they might change something?
Yeah, Scrapbeak I think is overall like a foot or what am I trying to say? Like a step in the right direction. Like I definitely like how he has actual mechanics compared to the spider that just jumps on you or the butcher that just swings this thing around. I don't know. The bosses are kind of boring, so I hope they do eventually, as they add more bosses, make them, um, you know, not necessarily harder, but just somewhat less boring.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Scrapbeak to a degree, I think is probably probably boring. Anyway, he's it's very much the same thing. I mean, the assassin and the spider, they're very fast moving and annoying entities. And I see you got Scrapbeak and the butcher who pretty much patrol on foot. And yes, they've got their own attacks and stuff. The mechanics that I love about Scrapbeak is how it changes the PvP elements. And it's stuff like that I've seen comments here and there about, okay, well, rather than adding stuff to the bosses themselves, how about you change the environment or make something a little bit more situational that affects how players approach things, like Scrapbeak does. Scrapbeak, it deters a lot of people. Maybe they're a bit hesitant about entering the compounds, or once they're in, they're in. There's no going back. So it's interesting to see how players, because I've seen new players and veterans all have issues with Scrapbeak at some point during the actual boss fight itself. Whether that be just misinterpreting like one of his attacks, or down to the fact that they just don't have ammo and they've got to leave to even get ammo. Otherwise, they're just leaving themselves open. And it's stuff like that I would like to personally see put into the game. Just to mix things up a little bit, especially with the other bosses.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, obviously they're concentrating on the map right now, and they might end up revisiting some of these things at some point.
Yeah, Scrapbig's definitely annoying to fight. I'd say he's probably the most annoying to fight out of all of them, just because it's like, if I run, Spitzer ammo, my Mosin, and a Dolch, I only have so much ammo, and then it's just like, God, I hope he drops enough boxes to fight the,
Yeah.
I usually play solo, so to fight the 11 players coming to beat me up, it's like, oh my God.
And is it duos or trios that you mainly solo on?
I mainly play trios, yeah.
Okay.
Or solo versus trios, yeah. That's normally what I do. And then, but yeah, and then his scream is so loud. It's like if there's someone here, I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
But,
I kind of wish that the ear ringing effect would be a little bit louder and remain a little bit longer, just to really upset the balance.
I guess they don't balance the bosses around solos though, so
yeah.
Can't really do
it's all high risk, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So you solo a lot with trios, and you mentioned Mosin with Spitzer and the Dolch. Is that like a typical loadout when you're playing solo?
Well, I normally run Spitzer ammo. Yeah, I've been kind of going away from Spitzer just because it's not necessary, but it's fun, kind of thing. I've been running the Dolch just because it's like, you can't beat them, just join them,
Yeah, I'm getting to that point as well. If I ever have money, but
yeah, that's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I had to restart again after obviously migrating to PC. And what was that? I think I was Prestige 55, I think, on back on console, and then it just kind of feels like I'm starting again. But
yeah,
I'm enjoying it, so it's nice to start going back through those levels again. Anyway,
yeah.
So with soloing and trioing, how are you finding the skill based matchmaking, or is that something you just have off completely?
Well, it's basically impossible to find a game as a solo, or at least I don't know if it's like with my skill bracket or what, but I mean, I'll sit in queue for the entire timer, and it's like I get in a game and there's no one in there. It's like, okay, well, what do I do? Even with the SBMM off, it's like super slow to find games. I don't know.
Weird. Okay. Maybe there's just no one out there, team or otherwise.
Maybe.
Just
yeah.
Crazy.
I do play super late at night though, so it could be my own fault.
Okay. Well, I don't want to talk about obviously like what server you may be on or anything like that, because well, if you watch TheFailSpawner, then hopefully you might know. Maybe you hide the screen, maybe you don't.
I play both US servers. They all know already, so
fair enough.
I'm central US, so I can play any server in the US.
Okay. Do you have the same issues? Have you played on Europe? Do you have any issues in European servers, or is that just a no-go area?
I can't go. Yeah, I get like 200 ping on EU, so I can't really go over there.
Okay. So
I have played it a couple times, but
yeah. So everyone in the EU is safe then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got Psycho to deal with, so
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else what we can cover? How did the drive to reach Prestige 100? How did that come about? Because I know that when you were sitting at 50,
yeah,
and then when they introduced the cap,
yeah,
all I remember back then was you just had this will, just that's it, I'm going for it, and you were on quite a lot back then, I remember, and
yeah,
I think you were largely playing. I don't think you were playing solo as much back then as you probably are now.
No.
But yeah, that's what was the drive behind that to get it?
So when the game first came out, I played a lot, and I realized like I was such a high level compared to everyone else. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the highest level in the game right now, and so I just eventually decided to be the first to prestige 50, and so I ended up doing it, being the first to 50, and so that's when it was capped, and then they uncapped it to 100 whenever 1.0 dropped, and then I was like, well, I did it once, might as well do it twice, and so I was just like, let's just do it again. And we did it, did a prestige a day, mainly playing. I only played trios because XP is so much faster if you play trios.
Mhm.
And then yeah, did that, and I think it took me a month and not even a half to do 50 prestiges.
That's crazy.
So, yeah,
Yeah, a prestige a day. That's some dedication. So now, yeah, we get to see your mug everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah,
on all the
Yeah.
wanted posters, which is a really nice touch from the devs there. Yeah, if they added in another 100 levels, would you do the same?
I tell myself I probably wouldn't, but I know I would.
It's a reputation. It's a reputation now. The whole up, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to find teammates to do it with. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like to spend 8 hours a day with me, so.
We also had we had the Bayou Bowl that was hosted by Def, and you guys came out on top, didn't you? The
Yeah,
first
I've won
one.
the last. Yeah, well, I've won both the tournaments that he's done, I think.
What was the previous one that he did before? It was the I can't remember that.
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Tournaments are fun in Hunt.
Yeah. I take it. Are you gonna go in for the second one?
Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the second one with Eclipse and Maluk.
Okay. Cool. I'll need to get Def in on here at some point someday. I mean, I don't know what that would be like having a 1-to-1 with Def, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's a really cool thing for someone to put something together like that. I know a lot of work goes into it.
I can't imagine doing it myself.
Yeah, and it was a lot of teams that entered that last tournament as well. So props to him for keeping eyes on all of that as well. Yeah, it's crazy. Have you ever thought about putting anything together yourself?
I mean, I don't know. I think I would like to, but I just don't have the drive to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do tournaments without like custom servers, or I wish the devs would let Death use the test servers. Honestly, it'd be so much better.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Actually, yeah. It's probably a lot of resource again to have the test servers running, just for something like that maybe.
Yeah.
But that would actually be a really cool option there. I wonder if he's pursued that and thought about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So any speculation after the map has dropped? Because they've already announced and said that's going to be 1.6. So any speculation as to what may happen, or what you would perhaps like to see after post 1.6?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. We'll probably get about 12 more Winfield variants. Maybe, I don't know. I would like to see like I tell my chat this all the time. I'd like to see like a search and destroy mode 5v5 like in a compound. I think that'd be so fun.
Okay, so a different game mode.
I highly doubt that would happen. Yeah, a new game mode would be cool. Honestly, they just need to scrap quick play and just do something else.
Yeah, quick play seems to be, I don't know. It's in a weird place, isn't it? I understand the mechanic behind it. Yeah, maybe a new game mode might help. I don't know if that would maybe take away the spirit of what Hunt has to offer.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. That's probably why it'd never be added, but maybe more players on a server. I could see them working on something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've there's this bug right now, isn't there? That's propping up. So, and I think this has happened before as well. Well, I know
a long
it had
time
on.
ago.
Yeah, it had happened. I remember it being on console. You had like 20 plus players in the lobby. Um, yeah, so we know it's technically possible, but feasibly probably. As I think what Dennis was saying was that obviously there's a lot of strain
Yeah.
on the servers there, so I wonder they might work their magic.
Yeah, I don't know what they would add. I honestly haven't like read the roadmap in a while. Yeah, I don't know if they even. I don't actually. I have checked it, and they haven't like updated it in like
Yeah, I don't think it's
4
been
months or
updated.
something
Yeah, I think it still shows like what was coming. What?
for Christmas, right?
Yeah, 1.48. I think it was. It's still sitting there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So it's hard to tell.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else. I can't think of anything that we can or actually discuss anyway or mention that um that has actually been brought up that they might actually add to the game.
Mm,
I'm just trying to think. Um, I don't think there's really anything, is there? In fact,
yeah,
yeah,
not that I can think of.
yeah, we just don't know what it is that they're working on
Yeah,
after
they've
the
been
map.
pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I would like to see new prestige rewards. Something I would like to see. Like, I really feel like a prestige 100 should have like their own hunter skin, just because that's a lot of time put into a game.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, something that makes something it's a bit more personal to
Yeah,
the player.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that there needs to be something like that as well. I don't know whether or not it would be specifically a hunter because you end up losing that hunter anyway, right? So, um,
Well, it'd just be like a legendary hunter, right? You just buy it again.
yeah, yeah. Um, Maybe something account connected to the account. That isn't
Yeah.
already like a badge, but something completely separate to that.
I think
Um,
they. I think one thing they did talk about adding is you know. Well, maybe I'm thinking a ranked mode. Didn't they say something about a ranked mode a long time ago? Maybe not.
I don't know. This is one of the things I asked Rick, and I think I can talk about it now because it's been brought up in the most recent dev stream. Is the visualization of the ELO ranking, which essentially
Mm-hmm.
for most games anyway is a ranking that we might see. I don't know how
Right.
they're going to represent it, but that is a good step forward as well to help players because we see it all the time. There's people that they still have no idea about ELO and how the system works, and they're always trying to work it out. How am I in the game with a guy who's like got a KD of 5 plus and he's prestige 90? How am I
Mm-hmm.
in the game with someone as highly skilled as that? Um, and it's sometimes sometimes it's obvious, but the arrows, is almost like players have no trust in that system, the arrow
Right.
system. They just can't take that for face value for what it is because obviously they're
Yeah.
seeing these other stats that don't make any sense. So hopefully this visualization of or whatever it is they're going to change will hopefully put an end to that, make things a little bit better for players to
With
understand.
this with this new update, you're supposed to be able to see the KD of players right after the game's over.
Well, is that because now we're talking about is this going to be part of the 2D like mission replay thing that they've got on the roadmap, or
No, I'm pretty sure it's in this update. Like after the match, you go to the after action report, and I'm pretty sure you can see all the people that were in your game and like their KDs.
interesting?
I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure that's in the game right now.
Yeah, I've not touched test either yet, but
Yeah, I tried to play it the other day, and there was like 20 people on, so I was like, "Well, this is pointless."
hmm.
But yeah,
Okay, I'll have to go and check that out and see what that's all about. Because it seems a bit strange as well, keeping something like players. I mean, I know players can do it themselves if they hide their stats, but to keep players shrouded anyway, and then just to give all that information at the end, you know, like who you pass by. I mean, it would just be nice just to see who was in the game. I don't need to know.
Yeah, I think I worded that wrong. It's whoever you kill or who kills like you. I think is how it is. So if you kill like all the players in the map, then you would see all their KDs. But
Right.
if you kill one guy, you'd only see that one guy's KD. I'm pretty sure is how it is.
Okay, that would kind of make sense. But yeah, that would maybe help with things though.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what else have you been playing recently?
I've been all over the map lately. Just been kind of bored with Hunt just because I'm a person that requires a grind, and when you have no grind, it's rough. So I just been playing. I've been playing WoW. I've been playing I've been playing Farming Simulator. I've been playing like just everything under the sun right now. Just been trying to keep my mind busy.
What about any and I don't want to. I already brought this up before, but obviously we had an IGN article not that long ago that had Hunt in the top 10 of battle royales out there right now. And I said, well, we're not really a battle royale, are we? But it's always nice to be in the top 10 of something. So
right.
Any previous battle royales that you think that you'd played and you would probably go back to or play or not touched on?
I mean, I've been playing Warzone a little bit, but I don't know. I love battle royales. I've played PUBG. I've played the Battlefield one. The Battlefield one was probably my favorite battle royale ever.
Yeah,
and then
that's the only one. I guess out of the bigger franchises, I never touched on. What was that one? That was Firestorm, was it? Or
yeah.
And I'm hearing that the new Battlefield might have something similar, but a little bit more.
Yeah, they came out with Firestorm and they literally never updated it. Like it was just like, hey, here's Firestorm, and then that was it. So I'm pretty sure it was just like it must have just been like or here's our test subject. So hopefully if there is one in Battlefield 6, it's decent.
Yeah, it talks quite a lot about Battlefields with Rick, because he that's when he came into EA at that time when Battlefield 3 was around, or just started. And I think he had a lot to do with Battlefield 4 as well. I take it you. I'm a big Battlefield player. I haven't played one. I haven't touched one in a long time. The Battlefield 1 to me was a kind of a bit of a step backwards, which is ironic considering I play Hunt. But yeah, there was something about that just didn't click for me. 2042 is something I always bring up because I know that they brought back 1942 under the 1943 reboot, if you like, and it was a smaller game. I don't think it was quite on the same level as the 1942, but I just want them to go back to 2042 or do the same thing and do a 2043. I don't know if you ever touched that one.
I think my first Battlefield was Bad Company 2, and then I played like 3 and 4, 1 and 5. That's about it. I played 1942 a long time ago, but yeah, Battlefield
3 was definitely like an opener for a lot of people, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what did Battlefield 2. What was it? One Combat, I think it was called. Yeah,
Bad Company.
No, Battlefield's
no.
Before Bad Company.
I never played those.
Yeah. All right. So you actually came in on Bad Company 2, right? Okay.
Yeah, Bad Company 2 was my first Battlefield.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have to think about what the actual order of games were before. I can't remember. Had Battlefield 3 been out before Bad Company 2?
No, I think 3 came out after.
3 came out after, okay. What the hell was in between Bad Company and Bad Company 2 though? Shit, I can't remember. They had Battlefield 2 and it was called Modern Combat. And that was back when it was out on PC and it was out on the original Xbox. And then the 360 came along and they did a port over for it. That was my first Battlefield on console. But prior to that, 1942. I'm trying to think, was 2042 in between? I can't remember. That was all over the place for platforms.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge series. It's changed quite a lot. Anything else that's coming out that you're looking forward to?
Looking forward to New World, the MMO.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. Not really. I love MMOs, but it's hard to put in the hours, when you stream and stuff. So
yeah. And is it just Hunt that you're streaming just now?
I mean, if I play games, I stream, but Hunt's basically my main stream that does anything decent for the channel.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds right. Well, thanks for the chat.
Yeah,
it's been
no
awesome.
Problem. Anytime.
Yeah, we can do it again. Like I say, man, we can do it in a group scenario as well. That would be an idea. That'll be an interesting one. That concludes episode 2 for the time being. Thanks for Fail for joining me for that. We will get him back on. Please go check him out on Twitch. Apologies also for any audio issues that you may have encountered, and I will catch you guys soon.